Welcome back to our channel, everyone. I have to tell you, whenever Rick Lansing walks into a room, you just know that a storm is brewing right behind him. We have all watched him for years, haven't we? He is one of those characters who can be so incredibly charming one minute and then completely terrifying the next. I have always had a soft spot for him because you can see how desperately he wants to be loved. But my goodness, he makes it so hard to root for him sometimes. The recent spoilers for General Hospital have completely confirmed my worst fears about him. It turns out that Rick is about to discover something that he absolutely despises, and it is going to send him into a complete and total tailspin. We are talking about a full-blown meltdown, the kind of emotional collapse that makes you want to cover your eyes, but you just cannot look away. He is going to completely lose control, and the fallout is going to be spectacular. The center of all this chaos, as it so often is the lovely Elizabeth Baldwin. Elizabeth is just a magnet for complicated men, isn't she? She has such a huge heart, and she is always trying to see the best in people, which is exactly why she has given Rick so many chances over the years. But according to the latest information, Elizabeth is going to find herself spending a lot of time with Dante Falconeri, and Rick is going to view this as a massive, unforgivable betrayal. From Rick's highly skewed perspective, Elizabeth and Dante are crossing a line. He is going to convince himself that they are stepping way out of bounds, and just the thought of it is going to make his blood boil. I can already picture that dark, brooding look in his eyes as he stews in his own jealousy, letting his imagination run wild with all the worst possible scenarios. The real trouble begins on August 19, and I am telling you, you are going to want to have your tissues and your blood pressure medication ready for this episode. Picture this. Rick is standing off in the distance, lurking in the shadows the way he always does when he is feeling insecure. He is watching Elizabeth and Dante together, and what he sees is going to absolutely shatter his fragile ego. Now, we all know that a little while ago, Rick had to endure watching Liz and Dante looking quite friendly in the park. That was hard enough for him to swallow, but this time is going to be 1,000 times worse. The spoilers tell us that they are going to look incredibly intimate, far more than just casual friends catching up on a sunny afternoon. I just know my heart is going to be in my throat during this scene. Rick is going to witness something that pushes him right over the edge. It might be a deeply warm, lingering hug that just lasts a few seconds too long, or it might even be a moment where it looks for all the world like Elizabeth is leaning in to kiss Dante. Can you even imagine? We all know how soap operas work. Sometimes a trick of the light or a certain angle can make an innocent moment look like a scandalous affair. But honestly, it does not even matter what is actually happening. What matters is what Rick believes he is seeing. And whatever it is, he is going to be absolutely furious. He is not going to approve of this closeness one single bit, and that jealousy is going to eat him alive from the inside out. We have to take a moment to talk about Rick's history, because you simply cannot understand his reaction without remembering his past. Rick Lansing has a very long, very dark history of struggling with severe jealousy and possessive behavior. When he loves a woman, he wants to own her completely. He wants to be the center of her universe, and he cannot stand the thought of anyone else bringing her joy or comfort. I was really hoping, just like I am sure many of you were, that he had finally done the work to heal those broken parts of himself. But it sounds like those old, ugly demons are rearing their heads once again. Those deep-seated issues are bubbling right back up to the surface, and they are going to leave him completely stunned and blinded by rage. If you thought August 19 was going to be bad, just wait until we get to the episode on August 20. The drama is going to ramp up to a whole new level. This episode is going to give us even more bonding moments between Dante and Elizabeth. It seems that Liz is going to make Dante her primary confidant. She is going to open up her heart to him, sharing her worries, her fears, and her deepest thoughts. And where does that leave Rick? Standing out in the cold, feeling completely abandoned and pushed to the side. I can actually feel the sting of his rejection just thinking about it. He is going to feel so left out, and his paranoid mind is going to immediately jump to the conclusion that he is being permanently replaced in Elizabeth's life. You see, for a man like Rick, being the provider of emotional support is everything. He desperately wants to be the one Elizabeth runs to when the world gets too heavy. He wants to be her knight in shining armor, the only man she trusts enough to pour her heart out to. When she needs advice, he wants her to look into his eyes and ask him what to do. But instead, she is turning to Dante. Dante, who is so steady, so reliable, and so fundamentally good. It is completely understandable why Elizabeth would feel safe talking to Dante, but it is equally understandable why this would drive Rick absolutely crazy. He is watching the woman he loves build a deep, emotional connection with another man, and he feels completely powerless to stop it. Now, let us talk about what a normal, rational person would do in this situation. If you or I were feeling insecure in our relationship, we would sit our partner down and have a heart-to-heart conversation. The absolute best thing Rick could do right now is just be honest. He should go to Elizabeth, look her in the eye, and confess that he is feeling incredibly uncomfortable and insecure about her friendship with Dante. Communication is the golden key here. If he just opened up to her, I have no doubt that Elizabeth would soften. She would reassure him of her feelings, and she would probably make a genuine effort to establish some healthy boundaries with Dante to make Rick feel more secure. It would be such a simple, mature way to handle the problem. But we are talking about Rick Lansing here, and bless his heart, the man is simply not capable of being rational when his heart is on the line. When he gets into these highly emotional, high-stakes situations, all logic just flies right out the window. Despite all the hard work he has supposedly put into changing his ways and becoming a better man, he is slipping right back into his old, destructive habits. If he is not extremely careful, he is going to destroy everything he has worked so hard to rebuild. The leaks for the August 20 episode make it crystal clear that Rick is going to snap. He is going to lose his temper, lose his perspective, and completely lose his mind over this. This is exactly what makes me so incredibly nervous for everyone involved. When Rick loses control, he does not just throw a temper tantrum, he gets vindictive. He gets dangerous. He is stepping onto a very dark and treacherous path right now, and I just know he is going to do things that he will deeply regret for the rest of his life. He is letting his jealousy drive the car, and it is heading straight for a cliff. His relationship with Elizabeth is already hanging by a thread, and this massive overreaction is not going to do him any favors. In fact, it is probably going to push her even further away and right into Dante's waiting arms. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy of the worst kind. But the story does not stop with just a ruined romance. Oh no, it gets so much bigger and so much more dangerous than that. The tension between Dante and Rick is about to explode into a massive, life-altering problem. Rick is not the type of man to just sit back and let another man take what he believes is his. He is going to fight back, and he fights dirty. The most shocking part of these upcoming spoilers is the hint that Rick's jealousy might push him to create or uncover some truly devastating evidence against Dante. And who is he going to take this evidence to? None other than Sonny himself. Just let that sink in for a moment. Can you imagine the sheer chaos of bringing Sonny into this mess? Sonny is Dante's father, but he also has a very long, incredibly complicated, and often toxic history with his half-brother Rick. Sonny is already dealing with so much right now, trying to navigate his own dangerous life and find a way out of the mob. If Rick comes to him with shocking, irrefutable proof that Dante is doing something wrong, whether that evidence is real or completely fabricated by Rick in a fit of jealous rage, it is going to put Sonny in an impossible position. It is going to ignite a family war the likes of which we have not seen in years. This is where the danger becomes terrifyingly real. By dragging Sonny into his petty, jealous feud, Rick is placing Dante in a new and unprecedented level of danger. We all know that in Sonny's world, betrayal is dealt with harshly. If Sonny is manipulated into believing that Dante has crossed a line, or if the evidence makes Dante look like a threat to the family, Dante could find himself facing consequences that go far beyond a simple family argument. Rick is literally playing with fire, using the criminal underworld and family loyalty as weapons. It is reckless, it is unhinged, and it is classic Rick Lansing. I cannot even begin to tell you how anxious I am to see how this all plays out. Every single time I think about Elizabeth caught in the middle of this brewing storm, my heart just aches for her. She just wants peace. She just wants a supportive partner. And instead, she is about to be the catalyst for a massive explosion between Rick, Dante, and Sonny. Will she realize what Rick is doing before it is too late? Will Dante see the trap that is being set for him? And what on earth will Sonny do when his own brother brings him evidence against his own son? The stakes have never been higher, and the emotional toll this is going to take on all our favorite characters is going to be absolutely staggering. As a longtime viewer, these are the kinds of storylines that keep me awake at night. You get so invested in these people, you want them to make the right choices, and you find yourself yelling at the television screen when they do something foolish. I just want to reach through the screen, shake Rick, and tell him to wake up before he ruins his own life. But that is the beauty of this show, isn't it? It captures human frailty, jealousy, and passion in such a vivid, heartbreaking way. I will be glued to my screen next week, analyzing every single look, every single touch, and every single whispered word between Liz, Dante, and Rick